What is special about Mount Rushmore? Brought to you by Moroli Edutech. The impressive sculptures of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, set against the stunning backdrop of South Dakota's Black Hills, narrate the tale of the inception, evolution, and conservation of United States. From the legacy of the original inhabitants to the vibrant diversity of contemporary America, Mount Rushmore offers visitors a profound connection to the rich heritage that unites all Americans. The Mount Rushmore National Memorial is a significant national monument featuring a massive sculpture intricately carved into the granite face of Mount Rushmore, located in the Black Hills near Keystone, South Dakota, United States. Designed by sculptor Gutzon Borglum, it is referred to as the Shrine of Democracy. Borglum, along with his son Lincoln Borglum, directed the project from 1927 until its completion in 1941. The sculpture showcases the 60-foot-tall likenesses of 4 U.S. presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, each selected to symbolize the nation's founding, expansion, evolution, and preservation. The Memorial Park, which spans 1,278 acres, 5.17 square kilometers, draws over 2 million visitors each year, and the mountain stands at an elevation of 5,725 feet above sea level. By the 1920s, South Dakota had achieved statehood and emerged as a favored destination for travelers exploring the Black Hills National Forest, Wind Cave National Park, and Needles Highway. In 1923, Don Robinson, the secretary of the South Dakota State Historical Society and later recognized as the father of Mount Rushmore, became aware of the Shrine to the Confederacy, a project aimed at carving the images of Confederate generals into Stone Mountain, Georgia, which had been in progress since 1915. In an effort to enhance tourism in South Dakota, Robinson began advocating for a comparable monument in the Black Hills, symbolizing both the majestic beauty of the local landscape and the victory of Western civilization over that terrain through its artistic representation. Robinson reached out to Gutzon Borglum, the artist behind the Shrine to the Confederacy, requesting that he visit the Black Hills area to assess the feasibility of the carving project. Borglum, who had connections with the Ku Klux Klan, a financial supporter of the Stone Mountain Memorial, had been experiencing conflicts with the Stone Mountain Memorial Association when he met with Robinson. Borglum initially intended to create the sculptures on 150-meter-high granite formations referred to as the Needles. However, due to erosion, the needles proved to be too slender to accommodate the sculpting process. Borglum reached the summit of Black Elk Peak while exploring other potential sites, and is said to have remarked upon viewing Mount Rushmore, "America will march along that skyline." He selected Mount Rushmore as the final site due to its more impressive setting, which also benefited from a southeast orientation, allowing for optimal sunlight exposure. Borglum dismissed Robinson's initial concept of illustrating figures from the Old West, including Lewis and Clark, Red Cloud, Sacagawea, John C. Fremont, and Crazy Horse. Instead, he opted to represent 4 American presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. The decision to carve the faces of these presidents into the granite was intended to symbolize an achievement conceived, designed, and executed by Americans for the benefit of Americans. George Washington, the first president of the United States, played a pivotal role in leading the colonists during the American Revolutionary War, ultimately securing independence from Great Britain. Recognized as the founding father of the nation, he established the principles of American democracy. Due to his significant contributions, Borglum selected Washington to be the central figure on the mountain, symbolizing the emergence of the United States. Thomas Jefferson served as the third President of the United States, is best known as the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, an important document that continues to inspire democratic movements globally. In 1803, he facilitated the acquisition of the Louisiana Territory from France, effectively doubling the nation's size and incorporating all or parts of 15 states that exist today. Gutzon Borglum selected Jefferson to symbolize the expansion of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt served as the 26th President of the United States. He played a prominent role, which led to the significant economic expansion as the nation transitioned into the 20th century. Roosevelt was key in facilitating the construction of the Panama Canal, which connected the eastern and western parts of the country. He earned the nickname Trust Buster due to his efforts to dismantle large corporate monopolies and advocate for the rights of the average worker. Borglum selected Roosevelt to symbolize the progress of the United States. Abraham Lincoln served as the 16th President of the United States, played a crucial role in maintaining national unity during the Civil War, which was the country's most significant challenge. Lincoln regarded the preservation of the Union as his highest responsibility, and was steadfast in his belief that slavery needed to be eradicated. Gutzon Borglum selected Lincoln as a symbol of the preservation of the United States. Mount Rushmore represents a monumental undertaking, characterized by immense ambition and significant accomplishment. The project engaged the labor of nearly 400 individuals, with roles that ranged widely from callboys and drillers to blacksmiths and housekeepers. Sculptor Gutzon Borglum placed significant emphasis on how light interacted with the memorial. He dedicated extensive time to observing the various shadows cast by the sun and implemented numerous modifications to ensure optimal visibility during daylight. Borglum extended an invitation to President Calvin Coolidge for a dedication ceremony in August 1927, during which he pledged federal financial support. Congress enacted the Mount Rushmore National Memorial Act, which Coolidge signed, allowing for up to $250,000 in matching funds. Carving commenced in 1927 and concluded in 1941, with no reported fatalities. Luigi Del Bianco, the principal carver of the mountain, was an artisan and stonemason who immigrated to the United States from Friuli, Italy. He was selected for this project due to his profound grasp of sculptural language and his talent for infusing emotion into the carved portraits. In 1933, the National Park Service assumed control of Mount Rushmore. Harold Spitznagel and Cecil Doty were the architects behind the original visitor center, which was completed in 1957 as a component of the Mission 66 initiative aimed at enhancing visitor amenities at national parks and monuments nationwide. Following a decade of redevelopment, significant improvements were finalized in 1998, resulting in the establishment of various visitor facilities and walkways, including a visitor center, the Lincoln Borglum Museum, and the Presidential Trail. Borglum passed away due to an embolism in March 1941. His son, Lincoln Borglum, took over the project following his father's death. The initial plan was to carve the figures from head to waist, however, a lack of funding led to the project's premature conclusion. On October 15, 1966, Mount Rushmore was officially added to the National Register of Historic Places. Tourism ranks as the second largest industry in South Dakota. with Mount Rushmore standing out as the state's premier tourist destination. In 2020, the park welcomed 2,074,986 visitors. The site's fame, similar to that of other national monuments, stems from its unmistakable identity. There are no substitutes for iconic resources such as the Statue of Liberty, the Lincoln Memorial, or Mount Rushmore. These locations are one-of-a-kind places. Mount Rushmore has appeared in various films, comic books, and television shows, and is regarded as one of the most sought-after tourism destination of the United States. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. Please share and subscribe our channel.